Hey y'all, I hadn't done a video in a while, so I thought I would do one. I'm fixing to make some biscuits and I'm gonna fry some salmon. And don't think I've done that on video, but even if I have, I'm doing it again. Because that's one of our next things that we're gonna add to our pantry list is canned meat. And this is the salmon I'm using. You don't have to use this brand, but this is what I'm using. And I'm gonna show you how to do that, okay? Hey y'all, before I do the salmon, I know I'll have many people ask about making the biscuits. So what I used was the recipe on the back of the self-rising flour, White Lily self-rising flour mix. And I know it basically by heart to do it without measuring. So, and now I'm just rolling my biscuits. So if I remember right, it's 2 cups of flour, and I'm thinking a 1/4 cup of shortening. And I don't use Crisco in everything I do. I use the off-brand, the Great Value brand at Walmart. And then I think it's 2/3 cup of buttermilk. I just do it till it gets to the consistency I want. And then I'm rolling these out. I don't know if you can see these or not. Let's see. I'm just rolling them out. And I will tell you that takes practice. So if you want to try making them, do not get discouraged when you can't roll them out, because it does take practice. And I've been doing it at least 42 years. I think that's why Sweet Hunter married me, was my biscuits. I really do. That, and I cooked like his granny. I think that's why. So, but anyway, I've got the oven preheated at 500. And all you do is you put your flour in, and then you mix up your shortening. You mix it up. I just do it with my hands. You mix it up, and see how I'm doing that? You just roll it. You don't want to roll them too much. They'll get tough. And then I make a well. And when I say a well, I mean a little hole in my flour. I just do it with my hands, like a little well, and I pour my buttermilk in. And then I just gradually mix up my flour mixture with my buttermilk until I get the consistency I want. And then I start rolling them or cutting them. Sometimes I cut them. Sometimes I do this because it's quicker. So I will be back and show you how to do the salmon. Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I've got Granny's bowl that I did the biscuits in, and after I do the biscuits, I just use it as a garbage bowl. Now, when you get your can, let me get it, of salmon, if you're wanting fried salmon, that's basically all I know how to do. You want to wash your can really good. That's the first thing. Top, bottom, sides, everything. You want to wash it good, especially now. So really anytime. So we'll get started. Okay, now this is probably going to gross some of you meat people out that don't like to touch meat. I'm just dumping the meat into the colander to drain it in my sink. And then I'm going to show you, if you open up the pieces, you will see the bone. So it's very easy to get out. Let me get Granny's bowl down here. And I'm just going to take the bones, and just scrape them out with my hand. I hope you can see that. I don't want to lose any of that meat. That's good meat. And they're just like together, and you'll find the bone in there. Just clean it out. And you can just do this with your hands. Make sure and wash your hands. And I just open it up and look for the little bones. These are softer bones. They're not like in a fish, so it's okay if you don't get them all. I do get the little, I guess it's the vertebrae. I get those out for sure. Okay. Now I've drained it. Let me put Granny's bowl back in here. I've drained it. I'm going to put it in a bowl, and we'll go from there. Okay, you put a little oil in your iron skillet. If you don't have an iron skillet, I hope y'all can see that. Just cover the bottom with it. Doesn't really matter what kind of oil unless you're particular about it. I normally don't have gloves on, but because I don't know if y'all can see this or not. Let me redo this. Okay, maybe this will be better. As I was saying, I don't normally wear gloves. Well, you can't see with that in the way, can you? But to keep me from washing my hands so much and getting them messy and everything and stopping, I'll just wear them. It is less messy. I'm adding just a little bit of flour in here, and I'm going to get an egg. I have my, well, I thought I did. I have my iron skillet with the oil in it heating up. And then I'm gonna crack this egg in here. Put it in Granny's everything bowl. If you don't have an everything bowl, you need to make you one. I think Rachel Ray started that, calling it a garbage bowl, but I do everything in it because Granny did. Now I have some onions here for me. Sweet Hunter don't like them. Oh, they smell so good to me. So I'm just gonna mix this up and just mix this all together, this meat with the egg and the flour. Hope you can see it. Stand on my tippy toes. And you don't want it too wet because you want to make a patty out of it. But you also don't want it too dry either. And that's the thing about cooking, y'all, is if you cook, the more you cook, the more you'll know, the more you'll get used to things. And that's why I encourage people to cook at home, because you learn. And here we are, the world thinks we're in a crisis, and maybe we are, I don't know. But I've always taught to be ready to have food for your family. I know many people that they just have food for a day or food for a week because they eat out so much. I mean, what if you couldn't go out it and eat? What if you had to fix your family something? What if a blizzard came like it did in '93? And I'm sure a lot of y'all don't remember that, but I do, and we'll never forget it. Sweet Hunter said he'll never, ever not be prepared after that. So I've got my flour and egg and salmon mixture put together. And you can see just a little bit of flour on the outside of it. It's not too dry on the inside, but it's got a little flour to keep it from sticking. And I'm just going to, that's all I do for Sweet Hunter. And I just make a little patty, just like you would a hamburger. It's not sizzling yet, so it's not quite high enough temperature. But these are really good. They are good with biscuits, and I'm gonna have slaw because I had that Sunday with hot dogs and chili. And so I've got some slaw left over, so I'm gonna serve slaw with this. And if you need a little more flour, just get you a little more flour and sprinkle it in here. It's kind of like making biscuits and rolling them out. You just don't want it to stick. See, just make that patty like that. Your pan. that's him too. Let's see, that's probably all he'll eat. So I'm gonna make 4 out of this. You can make them smaller, and I'm gonna put onions in mine. So I'm just gonna throw some onions in there and then remix it up. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's starting to sizzle. It really needs to be hot when you put them in. And because I just added the onions, I'm just like you'd need bread. You're just mixing it in. The ones with the onions will be the best. I can promise you that. It looks like there's gonna be 3. Hey, maybe we can sneak one in and let him see if he likes onions in it. He would probably never know it. I don't know, these are pretty chunky onions, so he probably would. I should have done 3 plain for him. Probably neither one of us will eat more than 1 patty anyway. But I'm making biscuits, and I've got the biscuits in the oven. You just saw me roll them out. I'm frying these salmon patties. I'm gonna move them over here where you can see them cooking. And I think I'm gonna do mashed potatoes. And that's it. Okay, now I've got these going. It doesn't take long. I did not put salt and pepper in them while I mix them, so I'll do it now, but you can do it when you mix them. And all I'm doing is I've got my pink salt and my pepper mixed in together in a bowl, and I keep it covered, sitting on the counter right next to my butter. And spatula. Y'all, this is so easy to make and a good meal. Sweet Hunter will be proud to get this. Sometimes I fix corn on the cob with it, but today it's going to be what I have left is the slaw and the biscuits that are in the oven, and I'm going to make just a little pan of mashed potatoes. When you feel like it's brown on the bottom, that one's not too brown. That one looks good. Oh, look at those onions. Can y'all see it? Oh, goodness. And yes, I cook early. I never know if he's coming home for lunch or if it'll be supper, so I just fix enough for us to have for lunch and supper if he's hungry. Most of the time he eats the big meal at lunch, and then we eat something like peanut butter sandwich or peanut butter and crackers, or sometimes we don't even eat. So I hope you can see that. Let me get it down here where you can see. You see it, how pretty it is? So those are frying up. I want them just a little bit browner than that. Won't take long at all. This will be done before my biscuits are. Okay, my biscuits are done. Can you see them? I could turn the light on, couldn't I? That might be better. Maybe not. I'm gonna set them over here. My salmon is done. I've got my potatoes done. And my slaw I already had fixed. So I will set this over there. I always melt some butter. Don't know if you can see this or not. Let's see if we can move this out of the way. tilt y'all down a little bit. I mean, I know everybody knows how to put melted butter on biscuits, but it's just fun to watch somebody do it. I know I have fun when I watch cooking shows on YouTube. It's fun. I just put some melted butter on here, and then when they cool a little bit, I'll open them up and put an individual piece of butter on there. Also, and I can guarantee you that this meal right here will be better than any meal we could go eat out, unless it was a really fancy place. The last few times we've even been out to eat, we like, really? We should have cooked at home. And if I'm home, it's easy to do. So, I'm very thankful that I can cook, y'all. I'm thankful that my health is where I can cook. So I will show you this when I have it all put together. Okay, I've got my cream potatoes done. My slaw was already done. My biscuits and our salmon. Isn't that pretty? And I'm gonna put the salmon in this dish, not because I want to wash dishes, because I don't, but because I don't know when he's coming in. I'm just gonna set this in the oven, and since the oven's hot, I'll leave the door open, and it won't get too done. Let's see, what else have I got to tell you? Well, I'm gonna get me a plate, I can tell you that. I'm gonna go ahead and eat before him. I will tell you a little story, and I don't think I've told this before, but our youngest grandson, his name's Hudson Reed. He is one of a kind. And he was here one day, and things were really hectic. I don't think I was feeling great that day, but they were going to a wedding. Sweet Hunter was going somewhere else to one of the other grandson's ball games, something. It was just all real hectic, and we had to eat really, really quick. We always say the blessing before we eat, or we try to. And that day, everybody was just going in different directions. So I said, thank you for this food. I think I said, dear Jesus, thank you for this food, or something like that. And I said, I guess we'll just be thankful. I used to hear that long ago, and I really don't like to do that. And he made such a good point. 5 years old now, little Huddy said, at our house, we say in Jesus' name. And I said, you're so right. So we bowed our heads and prayed in Jesus' name. Y'all have a great day.